In the early 1920s, Mrs. Celia Tobin Clark travelled extensively through Europe to inspire her vision. A vision to create an English Cotswold-style Tudor estate on 250 acres of hilltop, just minutes from San Francisco. My name's Mark Thomas, and I'm here to see what it's possible to create if you happen to be the heiress to the Hibernia banking fortune. As one of America's most prominent families of the early 20th century, there was no limitation to the grandeur that could be achieved. Known as the House on the Hill, this estate is without peer in its architectural design and has been described as one of the most spectacular private residences ever created. Designed by renowned architect David Adler and completed in 1931 at a cost of $1.5 million, the equivalent of over $20 million in today's currency. Celia Tobin Clark was sympathetic to the fact that although she may be blessed with unlimited wealth, the rest of the nation was in the grips of the Great Depression. She insisted that the grounds were all excavated by hand to utilise the maximum workforce, and for over 2 years, the process of building the estate became a lifeline for many local businesses to avoid bankruptcy. The magnificent result of this labour has been referred to as a glorious monument to the better things in life. Little did Mrs. Tobin Clark know, as she created her masterpiece, that in years to come her private secluded estate would be on the doorstep to Silicon Valley. As there was no need to limit the extravagance, Mrs. Tobin Clark ensured the house and grounds were of the highest quality available. Entirely hand-built with Carmel stone, timber and slate, the estate now exhibits a beautiful soft patina, only evident with a true historic building. In 1992, the estate was acquired by the present owner and then began a $19 million extensive renovation. Whilst the character of the building was lovingly preserved, the infrastructure was thoroughly modernised. What we see here today is a beautifully manicured estate of approximately 6 acres. The remaining land was sold off in parcels, and the subsequent neighbourhood is now simply known as Tobin Clark. With views from the terraces overlooking the lower bay of San Francisco and the rolling hills to the west, the House on the Hill sits like a proud matriarch, fully aware of her importance. It is impossible not to be impressed as you make your way through the imposing classic wrought iron gates, up the lighted cobblestone driveway. You finally reach the huge motor court, which is centred with a magnificent stone fountain and has enough space to cater to the entourage of any grand event. As I came upon the gorgeous limed oak front door, I was overcome with a strange feeling that I'm possibly the least important person to have ever crossed the threshold. First impressions are always important, and what could be more impressive than the Harlequin effect created on the floor here in black and white marble. The walls are all English Jacobean oak from the 17th century. Some of the relief carvings in this building are attributed to a gentleman named Grinling Gibbons, who is still considered England's finest wood carver, but is best known for his work on St Paul's Cathedral under the direction of another great architect, Sir Christopher Wren. The entrance hall leads in many different directions, but to better explain the significance of this house, we will first explore the guest suite. This beautifully appointed VIP suite has everything any visiting dignitary would require. I should at this point reveal the names of some of the guests, and you'll understand the significance of this estate. President Richard Nixon, President Ronald Reagan, President George H.W. Bush, President Gerald Ford, Prime Minister and Iron Lady Margaret Thatcher, His Majesty King Hussein, George Shultz, Alexander Haig, John McCain, Newt Gingrich. The list goes on and on. It is good to know that the guests of this room slept soundly in this beautiful VIP suite, as a security system was installed to meet the requirements of the Secret Service. From here, there is a staircase which leads directly into the music room. You may have pictured a cosy room with a fireplace and a piano, but this music room is large enough to accommodate the National Philharmonic Orchestra. It is 55 feet long, with 15-foot ceilings exhibiting triple gilt mouldings. It has matching fireplaces and antique parquet de Versailles flooring. As acoustically perfect as it is beautiful, it has been the host to many world-class musicians and magnificent events. From the music room, you have access to the magnificent dining room, which has ample space to entertain a full banquet. It has its own beautiful fireplace and wonderful light through the original leaded glass windows, which brings life to the beautiful crystal chandelier. Just steps away, you come across the one room in the house meant solely for relaxing. Here you are forced to do nothing but enjoy moments of privacy and enjoy the gorgeous views of the natural surroundings. The library was once chosen as one of the 100 most beautiful rooms in America. It is no surprise when you see the 17th century English pine panelled walls, carved marble fireplace and the antique parquetry floor. The double leaded glass windows give you views to the grand courtyard, which is a picturesque setting for elegant garden parties, where you can imagine the magnificent galas attended by high society dressed in full Elizabethan finery. This house is complete with all the best things in life, including this wonderful bar, where over cognac and cigars, world leaders have indulged in intimate conversations, ranging from golf to world affairs, and occasionally venturing downstairs to select a bottle of wine from the 1700 available. To cater to an estate with this much entertaining potential, you certainly need adequate facilities. Well, here we actually have 3 kitchens, housed in their own wing with dumb waiters feeding directly to the upper floors. In the lower level there are banks of china storage, and protecting the silver and wine rooms you will find actual bank vault doors, which are relics from the original Hibernia banking legacy. A house of this grandeur deserves a befitting master's quarters, and the residence level provides the owner a private oasis. The now powder room was at one point the gun room, which I consider to be a positive indication of quieter times. The residence suite also comprises 3 office retreats and bedroom suites replete with exquisitely appointed bathrooms, which give the finishing touch to the luxurious escape. The house has numerous gorgeous suites, and it would require far more time than I have available to see them all. But be assured, they are all beautifully decorated and remarkably true to the architecture and style of the estate. This unique card room was designed by Celia Tobin Clark to resemble the game room in the ship on which she most enjoyed travelling to Europe. The doorways are lower than normal, and the panelling is carved from ceiling to floor, creating the contours of a ship's hull. Fortunately, this ship is not far from water. As you step through the beautiful doors, you are greeted by a truly classic swimming pool and a cabana equipped with its own kitchen and bathroom. It is ironic I grew up just 30 minutes from the Cotswolds, and 15 years and 6,000 miles later, and I happen upon the most spectacular Tudor estate I've ever seen. Mrs. Celia Tobin Clark took all that was quaint about English architecture and paired it with a huge dose of American grandeur. It was reported nothing ordinary ever happened here, and I can only wish that nothing ordinary ever does.